Hello guys, Alus FX here. So we'll be starting by analyzing DXY guys. Okay, so we're gonna start from a weekly time frame. So on a weekly time frame, as we are looking at this whole structure is the whole. I think everyone can be able to see what we are in an uptrend. This is an uptrend structure. So something that looks like this impulsive correction. So this was more like a equal highs, but we can just say this was a an impulsive an uptrend structure, even if you can just utilize the last part of the graph, since well we do not want to waste our time with what was happening in the history. If you can have a look at this one, I'm thinking of something like this is something that I'm actually thinking of when it comes to EDXY, because this to me it looks like an impulsive phase of the market, and this one looks more like a the correction phase of the market. You see, this looks more like a correction phase for me. So earlier on I did the what I used the Fibonacci and just checked to be like, where is the market currently at? And then I noticed that this market is currently somewhere by this golden area. So I'm thinking that the market might be possibly rejecting this zone and be going up. Okay, on a weekly time frame, that's what I'm figuring out. But we will go to a lower time frame just to get to see is it the thing that I'm thinking about? Will it is there any patterns that tends to confirm it? So this is DXY. Okay, so on a weekly time frame, this is what I'm just going to mark for now. So let's go to a daily time frame. So when you go to a daily time frame, since well we are thinking at the moment, let's just say we think that this is a correction phase of the market. This whole thing right here, I think, is the whole correction phase of the market for now. So earlier on, I once thought like if the market pushed this all the way down to this side, to me, since well this was prediction, it was a correction phase for me. I thought maybe this double bottom right here could actually act more like a what is this? Come now, a left shoulder, and then this being the head, and then the market broke above, because let's say impulsive correction, impulsive correction, impulsive. So this the time the market was breaking above here, let me just put it this way, the time the market was breaking above this point right here, I think people who trade SMC, they will tell you that there's something called the change of character. So to me, this looked more like the change of character, to say, okay, the market now has crippled this move towards the downside. So the market now, it kinda wants to go to the upside. Yeah, well, so I was interested on this break here, and this kind of double bottom, making it my left shoulder and this head, and then now the market it's on this side of the right hand shoulder, if it can build something like that. So angifuni ukuthi ngibe na lot of information that will confuse him, but I'm just trying to show you like all this information that I'm about to be sharing on the lower time frames. The more we change ukuthi where exactly is it coming from, yabo? So as you can see, this was more like a downtrend, and then the market broke above this point to say, okay, now we might be changing towards the upside. But now we will also go look what is actually happening here the more we go to the lower time frame. Okay, so let's just remove this, because the daily time frame, and that is kind of very far. That information, it's likely very far. Let me see if I can use this. Okay, yeah, maybe we can use this, that the market has been having multiple rejection right here, as you can see here. As you can see, the market had a strong rejection here, strong rejection here, strong rejection here. We also think that the market might be having a strong rejection from this point right here. Yeah, well, so this is how I see Nasdaq. I don't know why am I seeing it slightly different than most guys. See, because most guys, they are telling me that DXY is going to be selling, but I'm seeing a buy. I don't know why. Okay, so this is a rejection, second rejection, and then third rejection. So earlier on during the week, I think I thought to myself that, okay, if the market was to break below this, because I thought like, okay, let's take this as one of the correction. Maybe let's make it impulsive, and then the market corrected, and then from there we're going to be pushing towards the downside, like impulsively. So like the market is going to break this trend line maybe with an impulsive push, and then maybe it give us a certain correction. Who are these people that are sending me messages? And then it's gonna correct in a way like this, and then it's gonna push towards the downside. But something, the way the market broke this trend line took my attention. It's like I changed how I was planning to look at the XY, and then I tend to look at it differently. Like, so after these rejections, and then this impulse, I mean this push to the downside, and then the market decided to push. Because if let's say you can just concentrate on this last part of the graph, let's just concentrate on this last part of the graph to make it things easier for us. We have this downtrend which gave us impulsive correction, and then we had this last impulsive phase. So remember, if the market is in a downtrend, we want to see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs at all time. I should say, I'm distracting my phone. You want to see lower lows, lower highs. We do not want to see anything that is not going to be off that pattern of lower lows, lower highs. But if we can have a closely look at what was happening right here, we did have these lower lows, lower highs respected at this channel right here. But what happened? What happened? The market decided to go violate this previous what is this lower high. Because remember, I always said this: when the market is in a downtrend, it's going to disrespect the lower lows. The lower lows, they're going to be broken towards the downside. All the lower lows, they're going to be broken. But the higher lows, they will never be broken. They will always be respected. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. The moment you break the lower highs, which means we have just crippled the move towards the downside. So which means now the market will be changing direction in a way. But now, in this case, this looked like that to me. So I was like, okay, if that looks like that, and then we have this low right here. If you can have, we have this low right here, and then we have this guy right here. And then if we can have a look, if we can just draw something like this, to me this looked okay. Before we even get to this point, right here, I wanted to see something like this, because usually sometimes I say things like that. Sometimes I do say something like this: ukuthi if the market is in a downtrend, like this. So I always emphasize that this correction, it should be for this last impulsive. This correction, its impulsive was this one. So this impulsive right here is going to have its own correction, maybe right here. But the moment the market starts giving us something like this, it tends to be what? It tends to be, this is going to be the correction phase of this impulsive phase. So the market might be shooting all the way towards the downside. But again, how I want to see the market shooting toward the downside, I want to see it shoot impulsively, and then give me, okay, let me do it this way. I want the market to break this trend line, because I remember I always draw trend line on the correction phase. I always draw a line on the correction phase, because this was an impulsive correction. So when the market breaks below this trend line, that's when I execute my trade. But again, I want to see the market giving a strong push, like with an impulsive move, and then give me a correction, and then still carry on to shoot towards the downside. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see the market breaking this trend line in a manner that to me seems like it's a correction phase. That is what I don't want to see. But in this case, I thought to myself, like, is this an impulsive move, the way it broke this trend line? But it seems like this was the correct, it broke it impulsively. I might be wrong. But to me, it seems like it moved, like it gave us this low, it gave us this high, it gave us this low. It was like it was going towards the side. It was like it was driven towards the side. Yes, I can see it. but I'm not that really convinced to be like, I wanted to see a strong push and then it can give me a correction and then a strong push again. So like the way it looks right now, I'm even thinking with him, the market, it might be giving us head and shoulder in a way you would see this being the correction of this impulsive phase, because now I'm also thinking of this change of character that happened here. I'm also thinking of this change of character that happened here. So I'm thinking like the market might actually be moving towards the upside. So if, let's say, okay, let me just do it this way. If this market, like this part of the graph, it was in a clear trend, if this was in a clear trend, I would have been able to know Uguchi, what can I do next. But now, if you can have a look at this thing, it's like it went all the way down, but from here it was more like in a consolidation form. Like this part of the graph, it was like the market was in a consolidation form. So that is why it's a bit tricky for me to figure out Uguchi ngingayenza kanjani, or how can I come across, or how can I make a decision that simple when it comes to this one. So to me, it looks more like we are at the end of this move towards the downside, but it can move towards the downside. Remember, I don't control how the market should move or something. But to me, it looks, I want to see something like this. This is what I want to see. So, asazi ukuthi, is it really going to give us that or what? But this to me looks like a head. I mean, the shoulder, the head, and then if it can give us another shoulder, because even on gold, most people, I've heard most people saying gold, we are looking for selling opportunities. So it's more like again the same thing to say, if gold is gonna be selling, therefore gold, I mean DXY should be buying. So to me, it can only make that sense that it's gonna be buying if it can be in this manner. Plus, I can see this strong pin bar, if I'm not mistaken, if this is a pin bar rejecting the very same zone that the market once rejected on the left shoulder. So what I want to see, I want to see the market giving us the strong push, and then if it can give us more like another correction like this, then I would know for sure that this trend line is going to be broken and the market will be heading towards the upside. Yabo. This is how I feel like, this is how I see DXY. I don't know ukuthi how are you guys niyibona kanjani DXY, yabo? But at the moment, this is how I see DXY, of which like I can't take a buy currently from where it is now, because I do not trade based on the zone. No, I do not trade based on the zone. I trade based on the correction. So once the market gives me an impulsive, like in this case, if it can push towards the upside and then start giving me something like a correction like this, then that's when I would know what, okay, I'm going to make use of this correction to take the buying opportunities that the market is going to be going up. Yeah, so let's just pay attention and get to see ukuthi will the DXY break below this zone and continue to go towards the downside and go all the way towards the downside, because there is just a lot that I think I'm seeing it slightly different from most guys. So I don't know ukuthi am I right in this case or am I wrong, but I feel like it's gonna go up. I just feel like it's gonna go up. I just don't know ukuthi why ngiyibona kanjalo, but I don't think I will carry on with the selling opportunity unless it does something like this for me to continue maybe with selling opportunities, unless if now from this point it just goes up maybe in this manner, then I can think of saying, okay, this was an impulsive and then it's kind of giving correction and then it might be shooting towards the downside. Maybe we'll be expecting the return, the market to make a turn maybe from this block. But if it's not gonna go up in this manner, then I would be still thinking of what the market might be going up to take a buy. So let's just wait and see what's going to be happening on DXY. But yeah, this is what I think so far based on what I'm seeing. This is what I think of DXY. But I will take this information and upload it on my YouTube channel so that you guys can just catch up and then share your ideas what you think of this DXY. So let me just go through your comment for a minute before I go to another pair, because I want to analyze DXY, I want to analyze USD JPY, I want to analyze France 40, and then you guys can maybe suggest what you think we can analyze together. Oh? Okay, I agree on the daily. Did you move efficiency? Hmm? Did you move efficiency from that low zone? I don't understand, bro. All about cars, I don't really understand. It will form a right shoulder, then go to the upside. If there is fair value gap on the upside, then it is guaranteed. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I think. Okay, hi brother, Xemeki. Okay, not much of comments, not much of comments, not much of comments, not much of comments. So we can carry on, I guess. Oh, I should have stopped this.